Hello and welcome to Arn. As always, Paul Bromwell here, and I am so excited to have all of you with us here on the Four Horsemen Network and One True Sport. I am joined by the Hall of Famer, the founder of the Four Horsemen, the creator of the Spine Buster, the 1A Tag Team Wrestling, our television champion, as I have that championship right here on my sweatshirt tonight. He's my current tag team partner, and I'm so proud to have you as my tag partner. He's Arn Anderson, the enforcer. Arn, how are you this week, man?
I'm not freezing.
It's starting to turn the corner a little bit. Down in Charlotte, it's what is it? What's the temperature like?
It's probably 72.
Oh, get out of here.
Which is flawless.
Oh, man. Now I'm jealous. I'm looking at 52, so I can't complain too much, but not where we were, that's for sure.
Well, we're past the really bad stuff with all the snow, right? You didn't get any snow lately?
Not lately. No. It's just been frigid. It's just been the last few days that we finally got past the 30s and are now into the 40s and 50s. So I'm thankful. I'll take it. But 72, no wonder you love the Charlotte area.
It's flawless. Flawless.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear it, man. It's so good to see you. We were just catching up a little bit before we went live. It's so good to see all of you here. I see you in the super chat. Once again, as always, every 2 weeks, we are live here on YouTube. And this is my favorite episode that we do once a month, Arn. I know it is yours too, where we have the audience participate. We have them ask questions. Guys, gals, take advantage of the super chat. Start throwing them in now. We just thank you so much for being here with us. Arn and I don't take it lightly that you choose to spend your time with us here on a Tuesday night at 6 Eastern. And we want to entertain you, answer your questions, and have a good time. So make sure super chat us in those questions. And we can't wait to engage with you on the show. So before we get into that, Arn, we have some business to cover as normal. And I know you told me, said, Paul, I really want to express a big shout out to Matt Cardona and Brian Myers and the Major Wrestling Figures guys. They do the Major Wrestling Figures podcast on the success of the action figures. You and Tully, you guys, they saw some big pre-order numbers, and you are just thrilled to see with how that went.
Yeah, I really do appreciate those guys, considering me still relevant. My God, when I was wrestling, they were in diapers. They've always been nothing but respectful and great, and I really appreciate everything about what they're doing for talent and for the business in general. So thank you guys. Appreciate it.
I've had the opportunity to meet both of them on a limited basis, and both, again, top-notch individuals. What Matt Cardona and Brian have done for the collectible world when it comes to wrestling figures, their knowledge, successful podcasts, live shows, and then what Matt has done when you think about for independent wrestling. And since he's left the WWE, it's transcendent. Talk about building a brand, and he tries to tell people on social media, other wrestlers, how to do the same. Just great all around dudes, and it was just so cool to see how they honor the legends with these figures. And I was so excited when I got to see and order you and Tully's with your titles, the TV title, Tully's with the national title. I can't wait to get them.
Well, thank you, sir, partner. I appreciate it. Yeah, we're all honored. I never thought I would be a guy that would sell a lot of merch, and we'll never know because there wasn't any back in the day. But things are looking much, much brighter after the fact, if you can imagine that.
It's awesome. Speaking of merch, you can get a lot of great merch. As you can see in the video here, we have it advertised at the bottom with one of those 90s Horseman tees over at onetsport.com. We talk about some of the sweatshirts, the fleece that you wore on Saturday night's main event, the Horseman jackets are still available. But it's, as you said, t-shirt weather is fast approaching. And so a lot of great t-shirts, ball caps over there. So check it out. And while you're doing that, also, I have right behind my shoulder, a little blurry, but I got that poster of you and Tully for the video game. We have that out there now too. So lots of great stuff you can check out. We're thrilled to see the support that you all are giving us when it comes to merch. But when you get that merch, when you get those action figures, there's no better place to make sure you get those autographs on those action figures than when you get to go see Arn live and in living color. Arn, perfect transition, because you're going to be showing up at a few places here soon. Next, you're going to be at Glory Days, GrappleCon 2, Saturday, March 29th in Lutz, Florida. A lot of great other talent's going to be there as well. But I know you're looking forward to the show in Lutz, Florida.
I sure am. Who doesn't love going to Florida? This is going to be like Colonel Parker and his crew, and
Bunkhouse Buck will be there. Yeah.
then some. Ming will be
Yeah.
in the building, so nobody will
Ming.
be popping off too much.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yep. Everybody will be on their best behavior with Ming around. And I know you love connecting with some of these guys too.
Well, let's not forget books.
That's right.
The books are still available. Love to put some of those in some people's hands just to so they can get a read on it. And I always love getting the feedback, what they like, what they don't like, what they would have changed, and looking forward to all that. I've never had an opportunity to do very many, if any, places in Florida around the Tampa area. I've done some stuff in Jacksonville, obviously, and different places, but Orlando, but never. Lutz is just north, just not too many miles, 15 miles on what I'm understanding from Tampa. So get some of those folks down, come down, visit us. It's going to be a hell of a damn show.
Arn, am I right in understanding that you're going to have comic books in hand in Lutz, Florida?
I'm going to bring some with me.
Whew. Guys, get to Lutz, Florida. It's a great time of the year to get down to Florida too. It's not too hot on March 29th. But you get to see Arn, you get comic books and all the other merch and autographs and pictures. You just can't beat it. If you can't make it there, guess what? He's on the road. It's a road show for Arn Anderson this year. He and Brock, WrestleCon, Las Vegas. You want to talk about a mega event. April 17th through 20th. Arn, I started looking at some of the people already signed up to be there. It's a who's who of talent. I was like Mike Tyson. I mean, we're just going down the list. And you were like, Paul, everybody's going to be there. But you and Brock are going to be there, too, in Vegas that weekend.
You have to experience it. I mean, the amount, obviously, WWE's putting on their spectacular that is the Super Bowl of wrestling, period. WrestleCon is going to be right there close in the area with, you look at the list of talent, Hall of Fame talent from the day, current talent from now. It's everything in between. It's just if you're a fan, man, you cannot miss that show.
That's when the eBay collectors and everybody just breaks out their shopping carts and just starts going up and down the aisles getting all their shit signed. I mean it's unbelievable. You can meet everybody at an experience like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, usually when you go to a wrestling event like a WrestleCon or a wrestling, whatever you would call it, convention, you have, 20 maybe recognizable talent.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have 100 talent there.
Easy, yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You want to get a bunch of stuff signed in one weekend? That's your opportunity.
Back up the mini U-Haul. Last place we'll advertise for you. Again, he's all over the country. We said Florida, then he went out to Vegas. Then April 25th and 26th, not long after WrestleCon, you're going to be Indianapolis, Indiana, middle of the country. So, Arn, you're covering all your bases, the Squared Circle Expo. This is the Arn Anderson Roadshow. I wasn't kidding, but you'll be out there as well. So another opportunity for fans to get you see you there.
And that show, we've been there before last year. Where was it good to us too? So thank you to all those fans that traveled in and from the outlying areas. We sure appreciate it. Plus everybody involved, talent, otherwise. It's just it's turned out to be one of those, God, I'd been hearing great things about that, but Squared Circle, Indianapolis, it's an awesome show, buddy.
Wyndham, you can see it there, Arn. You're just looking fine right there with that tan. And I don't know, will you have the wrist tape on while you're autographing too, or is that going to be a thing?
Probably leave the tape off. May take my fist just to see get a reaction.
Hey, I was just telling Arn, and I'm real excited about this. I thought I was done promoting all the places you're going to be, but I got to mention this. Team Art Promotions, for you guys that are familiar with him and what he does down in Charlotte, end of July, he does The Gathering, and it's The Gathering 6, I believe, end of July, early August weekend, and he was been announcing all these great Crockett guys. I saw Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard and JJ and Barry Windham and Baby Doll, and I mean the list goes on. And I texted Arn, I said, man, Arn, I would love to go to this event, but I want you to go. can you talk to your guy about getting you signed up for that? And you text me back. What'd you say?
Done deal.
Yeah. He said, I'm going.
I'm there,
So
buddy.
about a week ago, I saw T-Mart put it out. Arn Anderson joins us that weekend. So I'm going to head down to Charlotte end of July, early August. And I would ask all of our listeners, if that's a trip that you can make, Tully, Arn, all of them, I think they're going to do something special, at least with a photo op or something with you and Barry and Tully and JJ all together. Man, I'm going to that event. I think Friday and Saturday night, I'm going to stay down there. I'm excited, man. And it's in your backyard. I know you love Charlotte events.
I got a feeling there are going to be some folks that want to have a picture with you, young fella.
Please,
You might want to open that door.
They don't want to break their cameras, but if you wanted to get something with me and Arn together, absolutely would love to do something like that.
Be my pleasure. My pleasure.
It'd be my honor, and we have so much fun entertaining you guys. Would love to do something like that. So check it out. Again, really wasn't thinking about advertising that one this early, but I'm really excited to see that advertised. Listen, guys, one more announcement before we get into your questions. This is a special project. We can't say too much more than that. You just have to trust us. But we need you. Every single person listening to my voice, we need your help. You have an opportunity to be a part of something huge. Arn, am I right in saying that it's a pretty big project?
I'm thrilled. I don't get excited as such. I mean, I get happy, but excited. It takes a lot. When you get old, not many things actually have you jumping through hoops. This one's got me jumping through hoops. I'm really happy about this.
So we can't divulge what it is. Arn has signed some documents and can't divulge what it is, and that's cool. But what we can tell you is we need to appeal to all of you. If you have a picture of you with the Horsemen, Arn, Tully, a member of the Horsemen from the 85 through 89 era. So it has to be in that era. You were 10 years old, 12 years old. Maybe you caught him outside of a hotel or at the arena or at a gas station. We don't care what it is. We're looking for those unique photos, not the ones we've seen on the Horseman DVD, or you can Google and see the images of the Horsemen that we've all seen. This project involves looking for unique pictures of the Horsemen from that era. And I'm getting this right, Arn, right? From 85 through 89. I'm asking if you'd be willing to DM me on either Twitter or Instagram, on X or Instagram, those pictures. If so, you may be fortunate enough to see these in a huge project. We can't say too much more than that, but Arn, you and I have both been asked to solicit photos from that era that fans may have had of you guys. And I know, like you said, you're thrilled about this opportunity.
You want to do it right, leave it in the hands of our fans.
That's right.
They'll come up with some cool stuff, I guarantee you. And we'll make sure that you get it back with no issues. Yeah,
just send them if you can take a picture of them, like a really nice picture of the picture. So I'm talking to you, Michael Jensen, and you, Eddie Prather, and you, CG Artis, Charlie. I'm talking to you, Chris Orlando, and Amy Vaughn, and Andrew Hermes, and all of you. Eric Healy, I see you all in the chat. Matthew Rodriguez, ATF Media. If you happen to have met those guys back in that sweet spot of the Horseman time frame, shoot me a DM. And if you're listening to this later or watching this later, and I see so many of you, and I do go back and look at the YouTube comments that are huge fans of Arn and the show. I'm telling you, this is going to be a really cool project. Arn's house was invaded for a few days, spending a lot of time with him on this project. And it's going to be something special. And we would love to have your pictures as part of it. Good, Arn?
Yep.
All right. That was the big announcement. And Arn's texted me a few times to ask about it. With that said, guys, it's your time. We're about 14 minutes in, and it's time to ask questions, what's on your mind. And I'm going to start with Michael Jensen. He's our first super chat of the evening, and I'm going to show it here on screen. He says, Arn, what's your favorite style of wrestler to wrestle? Is it a technical wrestler, a hoss fight, a high flyer, etc.? And is there a style that you hated going against?
I wasn't real high on the bunkhouse type matches, tables type matches, all that stuff that diverts your pretty much your thought process about, okay, how do I feel about this? When you got guys that's beating the crap each other with every piece of movable furniture in the building, it's like it's okay. It's hard to keep up with. It's hard to really make you feel anything other than, man, these guys are beating the crap out of each other. I would have rather been with a Ricky Steamboat, Brad Armstrong, Ricky Morton, Robert Gibson, Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes, anybody that the people absolutely loved, made my job really easy because it made me easy to be unloved and disliked. So that would be a technical wrestler, I would think would be my favorite.
So Hoss fight is out. I love how he put a Hoss fight. That's out. High flyers. I mean, you might what we watched your high flying, head scissors. Did you ever do the head scissors to someone?
Nope, had it done to me 1,000 times.
Yeah, yeah. But outside of that, you weren't really just waiting to take on that high flyer.
No, but I mean, you can throw a cross. But if you're Ricky Steamboat, a crossbody off the top
Yeah.
means something because he beat guys with it.
Do you remember ever taking, and I don't know, if this is considered high flying, but it's really was always a cool move when the Steiners came out with it and he did the Frankensteiner. Did you ever take?
Frankensteiner, yes,
Yeah.
many times.
Okay. Yeah.
I
That's
did.
always a timing move too, right?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
the margin for getting tucked on the way through there is not great. So there was risk factor there.
Sure, for sure. Because as we have grown up and aren't kids and now watch it a little differently, you can and know how wrestling works. It's a dance, and if you're not in symmetry with your partner on certain moves, you're screwed.
Well, and there's a lot of people that never give this any thought. Guys put oil on their body. Nobody considers that's a point that things could get screwed up. You start getting sweaty, you can slip. All it takes is slipping 3 or 4 or 6 inches. You're going head first in the mat. And there's no way to protect yourself. There's other variables, that go into a match. And guys that, if a guy that's just not seasoned enough to be confident in what he's doing, or he shouldn't be doing it because he's physically not able to be doing it. A lot of variables in there.
That's what I feel is so impressive about pro wrestling and it's live. There's no do-overs. To your point, sweaty, oily, timing, all these things that you get to watch and we just take for granted as fans, like, oh, okay. Oh, that was cool. No, that was their one shot to get that move right. And when you start to think about the Frankensteiner or moves that are high flying or backward flips or some of the stuff that we see nowadays, that's it. If it was not done right or executed properly, major injury, a catastrophe and you've seen some of that. You've seen some of these major injuries occur, but that's why it's unlike anything else that you watch. People can miss basketball shots. People can mess up in sports and get flags or penalties. In pro wrestling, perfection is expected, and if something goes wrong, it can be the worst thing you would imagine for an athlete.
The margin for error is so small.
Mm.
The one that, if you think about it, I want to challenge everybody in our audience tonight. Just think about it. How many times have you seen somebody go in the ring, hit a moonsault out to the floor, and actually hit it? 9 times out of 10, it's a whiff. The person that should be catching them, if you think about, it's not a crossbody off the top, it's a moonsault. So you've got an entire person coming down with their feet pointed straight at your head, and that's the landing that they're going to give you. Now, whether you're there to deflect some of it or catch some of it or not, that's one of those that very seldom ever happens and looks proper. So risk versus reward. It's up to you. It's up to you, kids.
I got to ask you about that because there was a specific occurrence that happened recently in WWE. Tiffany Stratton did a move flying outside of the ring. It whiffed. Um, your thoughts, should the wrestler that she's wrestling or whoever's wrestling in that, I'm just using that as an example, just no sell and
Landed on her feet, right?
yeah,
And pretty
landed
much,
on her feet. Should that just be a no sell? Would you coach? How would you coach that? If there was a whiff on a move like that, how would you coach that or tell those wrestlers they should act after something like that occurs?
well, first of all, we'd have been out there in the afternoon trying it on a bump pad on the floor, landing pad. Uh, After a couple of times, you can tell if that thing's going to look right, but you got to just think of the mechanics. They're jumping off the top and they're coming parallel to you. They're not coming like a crossbody where you can catch a person through their crotch and over their shoulder and ride them down. They're coming this way with those 2 feet. There's no way to catch them safely and properly. And I don't know if anybody's ever pointed that out to anybody and said, most times that does not look good. The risk for error, you land, blow your knee out, 6 months gone.
Yeah, but if you're the wrestler who's supposed to be on the receiving end, would you coach them to say, hey, if they totally whiff on you, don't act like you got hit. Just
Well, if they miss you, just roll out of the way like exactly what happened. They missed.
there you go.
And
Don't sell that you got hit.
Yeah, just create some distance between you and them, because that now is probable, believable, probably will, like I said, it happened 9 out of 10 times. So there's no harm, no foul there. Just you got to keep your eyes on every inch. Once they jump, you got to ride them all the way down. And it's do what you can to catch them and protect them. And if you can't, protect yourself.
That's why I feel like, too, you see a lot of those moves, like a Charlotte Flair, where she'll do the swan dive or whatever. It's in a group. They have a group, so it's more likely that there's some type of carnage or landing on a group of people. So it's less of if it's just one person down there and there's a little bit of offness or looks awkward, it's going to be exposed.
Well, and I bet you she's tried it with one-on-one and screwed it up many times too that we just don't know about right now.
Sure.
So I mean, it's not like anybody can pull that off flawlessly. That's just so much better than everybody else. It's just luck.
And again, you get one shot to do it on live TV, and that's what's incredible about pro wrestling.
Yep.
You're judged on it. You are immediately judged on social media for that presentation. It's almost like the Olympics and a gymnast. How was the landing? Almost immediate, and you don't get a do-over. So when I'm trying to talk to someone who isn't educated about pro wrestling and it's fake, and hey, listen, you try to do something like that, the athleticism that's involved in some of what these folks are doing and the risk of what they're doing, and 95% of the time they're landing it. It's super impressive. All right, we were on that for a little while. Michael Jensen, who asked that question, great question. He says, can't catch live, so send it in early, and I will listen on playback later tonight. Thanks always for answering us. You got it, Michael. Always great to have you a part of the show. Eddie Prather sent us super chat. He said his question's above, so let me post his question. And he says, Arn, do you think that Barry Windham should have gotten a run with the NWA Championship in '87 when he might have been the best worker in wrestling instead of Hands of Stone Ron Garvin?
I don't think it would have been a mistake to go with Barry. Absolutely not. Nobody can say that's ever been in the ring with him. But a lot of people, Ron Garvin gets a lot of grief because of whatever reason. He was totally different than anybody else on the roster because when the bell rang, everything from just locking up, he had you tuned in and unable to look away because you immediately, right off of the get-go, knew these two guys are mad at each other. They're in a fight. Ronnie Garvin just had that ability to bring out the best in you. And Barry Windham will go down in history as one of the guys that had it all. He looked the part. He had the size, he had the strength, he had the wrestling ability. He sold incredibly. He just was one of those guys that had it all. And if he would have been the world champion for 6 months, it wouldn't have bothered me. You're not. I can't hear you, Paul.
Sorry, I was coughing a little bit there. But Barry Windham, incredibly talented. Guys, I don't know when the last time you've gone back and watched the Horsemen DVD that WWE did several years ago. I was just telling Arn that I went back and watched it the other day. And it was fun because they covered the time period that we just covered 2 weeks ago on the show when him and Rick fought each other and all that good stuff. So it was really fun to go back and watch. I was just going to say, I think all of you, if you haven't done so recently, should go back and watch that DVD. Arn, they interviewed you, I think it was around 07 maybe time frame, that they recorded a lot of the videos, and Tully and others for that. But it's just such a great DVD. It's the story of the Horsemen and, you know, Barry coming in and you know, how it started with Ole. It just the whole thing. It just really brings you back to such the glory days of wrestling. But it just had me thinking about Barry Windham as you were talking about him and some of what they cover in the DVD. We are going to go into some other questions here, Arn. I want to get as many people as I can. Darth Payne says, hey, guys, I remember Tully and Arn had a program with Michael Hayes and Jimmy Jam Garvin in 1987. What does Double A remember about the program and Double A's thoughts on the Freebirds in general? Thanks, guys. So Michael Hayes and Jimmy Garvin, working with them, and thoughts on the Freebirds.
Well, Jimmy Garvin was a damn good worker. I mean, no holes in his work whatsoever, and he could talk, and he looked good. He had that head full of hair. There's some hair envy going on now, but he had a head full. Michael could talk his ass off. He could talk them into the arena. That's a fact. Michael Hayes was one of the top talkers as far as generating butts and seats if you give him a mic. And I think, and I can speak for Tully, there were guys that you know, kept it mostly on the mat and liked to wrestle and tell stories and swap holds and make a punch mean something. And I thought we had a pretty good run with those guys, to be honest with you.
Yeah, listen, I love the original Freebird group, Terry Gordy and Buddy Jack Roberts, but I didn't think they missed a beat with Jimmy Garvin joining Michael Hayes. He had the look, and I thought he made a really good team member for Michael PSAs as a Freebird.
Yep, I felt so too. It's hard to top the first.
Yeah.
Freebirds is one of that top 5 groups of guys, you know, that's, you know, the first of anything is always special, and the first Freebird group was something special. But I don't think Jimmy let anybody down by stepping in that role.
They did a great job. You can't top what the Freebirds did in World Class, but then coming in and having to make some changes, I thought they did great together. And Michael Hayes, you know, just on the mic, a next level. I mean, who would have thought back then he'd be such a key player in WWE all these years later? He is a key guy in creative. I mean, did you realize that about him back in those days, that he had such a brain for the business?
Well, not when he was just a wrestler.
Yeah.
You don't really get to go inside a guy's mind too much. But yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have had to run. He's still there.
Yeah. Still there. You know, he's involved with a lot of the top storyline programs too, for everything you read.
Yep. He has had what we call longevity in the business.
For sure.
Long after his wrestling days were over.
All right, Daisy Mama, you're up next. Daisy Mama, always good to hear from you. She said, Arn, I know you had a chance to work with a lot of great managers. I mean, come on, J.J. Dillon, Bobby the Brain Heenan. Was there anyone you didn't get to work with but would have liked to from a manager perspective? You had a little bit of exposure to Mr. Heyman and the Dangerous Alliance. Who else? You took
Colonel Parker.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Remember Paul Ellery?
Oh yeah, Precious Paul.
Before the Road Warriors. I mean, there's a list of.
Were you ever part of the original And I say this because I read something at one point. But back in your Georgia days, were you ever part of the original Legion of Doom group?
No,
Okay.
that was Jake and the Road Warriors and Ellering, I think, wasn't it?
It was, but then there was like this article I read was like Jake, the Road Warriors, Ellering, and then it had Matt. They said Matt Bourne and Arn, and they had threw your name in the mix. And I'm like, Arn has never said that to me.
No, I don't.
But that's where the Legion of Doom name was born. Was the more of a group, just not their tag team.
Yeah, yeah,
Jake,
and then they whittled it down from the
Yeah.
Legion of Doom to the Road Warriors.
Yes.
Which thank God they did. Not that Legion of Doom was bad, but
Legion of Doom, they carry. That's what WWF took as their name.
yeah. The Road Warriors is just, when you just say it, it just rolls off your tongue, and it feels like it should have always been there and will always be there.
Yeah, Legion of Doom was from the Marvel or the DC Superman cartoons. They had the Justice League, and then the Legion of Doom was Lex Luthor and his bad guys. And so I think that was kind of the name where they parlayed that into this group in Georgia. I was doing a little bit of reading on that. I discovered a bunch of old wrestling DVDs lately, Arn, as you can tell. I've been unboxing a lot of stuff that I've had and some photos and some things like that, putting it in my basement. And so it's just been fun to go back, found some old programs, Jim Crockett promotion programs that I had. The tag team tournament, Crockett's tag team tournament cup. I have a couple old programs. So I'm just finding a bunch of stuff and reading some things. So I'm all wound up right now and reading some of this stuff. So it's fun. But Precious Paul Ellering is a guy that you wish you could have maybe worked with a little more.
He was like a world-class friggin' power lifter.
He would do those things that Iron Sheik, I forget what they're called, but swinging
the clubs.
Yeah.
But he competed in some power meets and had some pretty damn impressive totals.
And an intelligent man too, right?
Very intelligent, but jacked.
Yeah.
You couldn't really see. I mean, you could see with that, tux that he wore and the whole deal, but underneath that tux, buddy, he was a hoss.
Yeah. Amy Vaughn, I see you did a hashtag Ask Arn. Oh, she says, I'll continue. We'll just keep going through these questions. Ask Arn, what is Brock up to these days? From our friend Amy.
He wrestled over the weekend on Saturday at AML. He is doing MLW, and you can find them on their YouTube. And if you go pull that stuff up, it's all there. As far as Major League Wrestling, MLW. So he's doing at least a couple of those, and he's been doing one signing or so a month for me. But this was a slow month. It's going to pick up for him. Obviously, April will be a bigger month. So he's just doing what we can get, and that's close. He's kind of been doing it with CW on his own. I've been just staying home, be honest with you. And those guys have been traveling around making the shots. They were in Atlanta here not too long ago. So that's what he's doing.
Love it. And it's great to see updates on him on social media. They're doing some showing, Amy, some stuff with Brock graphics on appearances he's going to be doing. Always love to heart and like that stuff for Brock. So anything we can all do to support him and his career and get his name out there, I'm all for it. And he's going to be with you at a couple of these signings we mentioned, WrestleCon. And I think he's going to, you said the T-Mart show in Charlotte, he's going to wrestle at that show maybe.
I think so, yes. They're having a tournament.
Okay.
I'm almost positive he's in that
Amy,
tournament.
come down to Charlotte and hang out with us, okay? You can watch him wrestle. That'd be great.
And he will be in Indy.
Okay.
He'll be at that one too. So it's just we had a little bit of a lull. He's got a birthday coming up this week.
Oh, okay. When's his birthday? What day?
28th.
February 28th. So he hit it just at the end of the month, except a leap year. But yeah, 28th. And how old will he be, Arn?
28. 28
Okay.
On the 28th. There's a name for that. And I don't know what it is, but
you guys have any plans? You taking to dinner or anything?
Oh yeah.
Okay, where's the spot?
Special restaurant. I'll let you know how it went next time.
Okay. All right. All right. You guys
Um,
remind me to ask him.
it's fabulous.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Well, we won't announce it that way, like the wrestling fans don't crash the party, but we'll talk about it next show.
I don't see that happening. I just don't want to jinx us. And to get a plug on this show for that restaurant would be a huge
Pretty
deal
big.
for them.
Well, we will plug it, but listen, you can't say that. Remember, I know I've seen pictures. Somebody showed up at your doorstep one time when you were just rolled out of your couch from a nap to have you sign their replica belt. We've all seen that picture.
Yep.
So anything could happen.
We'll just say we're going to go have a nice dinner and leave it at that.
There you go. Richard is up next. Oh, Eddie Prather, good catch. Buzz Sawyer was a part of that Legion of Doom group in Georgia. Buzz
Okay.
Sawyer. Retro Richard. Hey, Arn, I'm a 20-year-old trying to get into wrestling. What's your advice?
Do you work out with weights on a regular basis?
So work out. That's your first piece of advice.
Do you have an athletic build? Do you have do you have a school that you're looking at going to? Have you researched the school to see if it's reputable and it's somebody that you can count on? And basically watch all the tapes that you possibly can before you ever get near a ring.
So do your homework, work out, find a good wrestling school. Do you have athletic build, which you can work on that, I guess, if you don't.
You don't have to be 6'7" anymore, 300 pounds.
Right.
You can be a smaller guy, but you got to at least be athletic and look athletic.
There you go. And do your homework. I remember, when I was talking to Brock over a couple crab cakes at Jimmy's, it was like, hey, he watched a lot of old school wrestling, a lot of wrestling,
Yeah, and you can learn a lot by wrestling. You can look at something that you see that you can stop and pause and run it back and show it again and go, that didn't look right. What was wrong about that? Rewind it and look it over again, see what your take is on it. How could you have fixed it? How would you change that? Psychology it's real easy to learn by watching somebody else's matches.
Nah, I love it. Michael Jensen's back. Michael, you made it back. I thought you were going to watch us later, but thank God you came back because he's throwing another $10 our way. You're the freaking man.
Thank you, Michael.
I love this guy. He says a lot of people want a fantasy book, New Horseman Stables, and oh my goodness, Arn, have you heard the questions over the years? Do you like when people try and think up New Horseman groups, or do you just want to keep it as nostalgia?
I feel like it's a compliment.
Okay.
I feel like people, if they're that interested in it and would like to see it in some other form, I'm honored that they feel that way. And it was something special. You'll never be able to repeat what it once was. The first group and probably the Wyndham group, but anything else, possible. Not probable, but possible. There may be another 4-horseman group down the road. Who knows?
Yeah. Hey, listen, in Charlotte, any one of you that want to stand in on the photo, it's going to be Barry, Arn, Tully, JJ's there as the manager, but they need that 4th horseman. So that's going to be each and every one of you that choose to get that group picture. You will be a representative, a member that day of the 4 horsemen. Another reason to get your ass to Charlotte. I mean, that's pretty cool. You can say I was the 4th member that day.
It's rare to have that many of us still together.
And the best thing you can be doing is wearing a nice 4 horseman, vest or hoodie or t-shirt, the logo. And you all know where you can get that right at the bottom of the screen, that website. Hey guys, I'm just trying to help you out. You want to look good? You want to look horseman ready? All right. I'm trying to get you hooked up for Charlotte. Eddie Prather says, Ron Fuller was Arn's manager also. And yes, you are correct. He was. And so Eddie, thank you for throwing $2 our way to make sure that we are aware of that. We appreciate you. Yambag Jones is here tonight, Arn.
Of course he is.
And he's throwing money here. So we got to post it here.
Is he still not considered that being something else?
I love it. I got to admit something here in a minute. Arn, you're a master in nicknames. Which one was your favorite? Paulie, let me know where that AA Valentine dinner is going down. It's time for a run-in. It's actually Brock's birthday dinner. I can't snitch out Arn so that the yam bag makes a run in on the birthday dinner. But master of nicknames, Arn, did you have a favorite nickname?
Oh, no, I don't.
Nothing comes to mind. Off the top of your head?
Nothing. I kind of nicknamed everybody in the
Bag,
locker
throw us
room.
a couple suggestions on some of the ones that you remember that were some of your favorites from Arns. I want to hear them. The yam bag can throw some in the chat.
Throw some out, throw some out there, and
let's
I'll
do
tell you
that.
which one I like.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll make him work since he suggested it. Can you imagine Yam Bag running in on the birthday dinner? So funny.
I'll tell you. I'll give you one. This one just kind of pops in. Before Stone Cold Steve Austin was Stone Cold, when he was Stunning Steve, WCW, when I first met him, he would walk around the locker room and just walk up and kind of stand in on your situation. If you were standing there talking to a guy or yakking with a guy or just kind of hanging out, just sitting there not paying attention. And all of a sudden you would have this terrible smell just engulf you. It was like, Jesus, who did that? And you would just see him walking off smiling. He would just walk up, shit on a crowd of people, and walk off without putting it over whatsoever. So I nicknamed him Hog.
Hog?
You are a hog.
So you called Stone Cold Steve Austin Hog.
I still call him Hog.
Guys, this is the only place you're going to get that story right here.
And nobody else even knows about it. It's kind of like a personal thing between.
I think,
Bobby Eaton knew about it.
Did he? Oh, yeah. That's so good. That's so good.
Because Bobby, you got to remember, had that weak stomach, so he'd come up and shit on him if he wasn't paying attention. He'd get a good whiff of that, and all of a sudden, Bobby started hacking, puking.
There wasn't enough candy in his bag to mask that shit.
Busted. Austin, you did that.
Austin busted ass. Oh, so you get me coughing again. Reggie the Tree is up next. Arn, what did you learn and like wrestling Manny Fernandez? I loved y'all's chemistry in the ring. Stay encouraged.
Solid. Make everything solid. Because he was gonna waffle you. You might as well hit him back. And Manny was a tremendous worker, really was. And he would everything that he did offensively was non-see-through, very, very solid. I mean, he was Dusty's partner when I first got to Charlotte.
Yeah, Dusty and TA were like the three guys that were kind of come towards the Horsemen. They were the
top guy.
Yeah.
Top of the
flying Dorito.
Yeah, man, that was like one of his signature things, and looked really, really, really good.
Yeah, and that was prior to his tag team with Rick Rude, and when they won the tag champs with Paul
Jones.
Paul Jones.
Correct. So to answer your question, I enjoyed working with him very much. I like the guys, that made you earn everything you got in the ring, because very, very soon it became real, and it didn't take but just a minute. So if it's real to you and it's real to your dance partner, it's going to be real to the audience, because you know what? It is.
Yambag said, didn't you call Lex Luger platypus?
No.
Okay. Platypus is out. Wilbur?
Eggplant.
There it is. Flair was Beak.
Beak.
Okay.
Yeah, Woody for Tully.
Woody. Now, Woody. Where's Woody come from for Tully?
Woody Woodchuck.
Okay. Woody Woodpecker?
Had a little bit of an overbite.
My God. Oh, man. Next time we have Woody on, I'm bringing that up to him.
These are all terms of endearment.
It's because you loved them. Thank God I haven't gotten a nickname yet. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Instagram or wrestling historian throwing a few dollars our way. Was there a storyline that you turned down? I feel like you were always pretty accommodating, Arn, but was there something you were like, I ain't doing it?
I didn't know you could say no. My entire career, I did not know you
Yeah.
could say no. So I never said no.
There you go. Never said no. All right, let's see what else we got here. Great questions this week. CGRTs. Hi, Paul and Arn. Good evening, gentlemen. Hope you guys are doing well. It's 62 here in Virginia Beach. A week ago, we had 12.3 inches of snow.
Highly unusual.
Virginia Beach, the home of Magnum TA. Virginia Beach, Virginia. Oh, well, CG, it's great to see you as always. Eric Tate. Arn, are you going to be in WWE 2K25, the video game?
Probably not. I don't have a Legends deal or anything with those guys. It's just,
Which, not yet. That's what I'm saying. Come on. We got to get Arn a Legends deal. What's happening here?
well, I mean, it's, like I said, I'm retired. It's whatever anybody wants me to be. I will consider whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but I'm happy to have my ass glued to the couch too.
Yeah, hey, a couple months, the draft's coming up. You excited about Carolina?
I'm going to say this, and I've said it from the beginning and told the truth. When they really stunk the joint out, they're better. They're better.
Yeah.
They're not great. I'm not planning anything great for them, but the last few games they were improved drastically.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Quarterback looked much better after he sat for a little bit.
They need defense now. They need to get a hold of some guys that are headhunters and want to get themselves a contract.
Shout out to you, research guy Andrew Hermes. He was a believer in Bryce and said you guys are giving up on him too soon. So he followed him at Alabama. So Instagram and a wrestling historian asked a question that I kind of wanted to ask too. And so we're going to throw it on the screen. I'm going to ask it a little different way. Favorite PG story of birthday boy Ric Flair. Today's his birthday, turned 76, Arn. But I'm sure there were a lot of birthdays that you spent with the man over the years. You talk about 80s Horsemen and 90s. Any fun or memorable birthday stories that you remember over the years with Ric Flair?
Well, how do you have a birthday party when every day is a birthday party?
So true. The guy parties like it's his birthday every day. That's such a great point.
And I'm going to leave it right there.
Right there. That's you're not going to top that. Chris Orlando, love this show. Arn, did you think Nitro was a plus or negative to your career at the time, or did it make a difference either way?
No, anytime you have expansion in a good way, that's always exciting. When you're going to go head up with the leading company in the business and the industry and literally just challenge them and go, hey, I'm going to take your time slot. I'm going to take everything you have as far as mass appeal, and we're going to go to first place. And, you know, there was a confidence amongst all the guys that having that Monday night head up against WWF was going to be something entirely different, because live means live. Once you do it,
Sure.
It's gone. It's not like Saturday night. They have a 7-second delay, and if you had to, you could pick something. Live is live.
The beautiful thing about Nitro too, if you think about it, especially how it evolved ratings wise and grew your, WCW, it grew your brand, who you are. You now reap the rewards of a bigger audience knowing who you are, signing autographs because of Nitro and the growth.
Absolutely. And you know what? I always said this about Monday night. People that are home, they're watching TV on Monday night, period. So it's prime time. It's not like Saturday night if you had a date and your girlfriend or wife wanted to go to the 7:00 theater to see a movie.
Sure.
That's what you did. And you missed Georgia Championship Wrestling or whatever it may be at 6:05. Everybody's home on Monday night at 8:00. Everybody. So just more butts in seats, more volume to draw from.
And that's the NFL figured that out too with Monday Night Football. Great night for sports.
Yep.
Yep.
100%. Yeah.
Sure.
People are recovering from the weekend. They just want to sit back, eat, munch on some stuff, lay around, and get ready to go back to work on Tuesday, I guess.
Man, that sounds like a great night, like every night. Just sit on the couch, eat, munch on some stuff.
I like it. I like it.
I'm down with it too. I'm a simple man at this point. CGRT says, I have a question, guys. Arn, what was the first major title you won? Was it a singles title or a tag title?
Tag titles, Continental Wrestling. Jerry Stubbs was my partner. If you can find any footage or anything from that era, what was it, 83? Probably 83.
I'm going to try to find something real quick while you're talking about that. Who did you guys face?
Well, Jerry Stubbs was my partner. It should be, he and I should be easy to pull up. But we wrestled the family, the Bob Armstrong, Brad Armstrong, Jimmy Golden, Ron Fuller. There you go.
How you like that?
Pretty good looking team.
Jerry Stubbs. Look at that.
Pretty good looking team, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was my first title.
Look at the crown. I mean, that feels like it hurt my belly if it bent a certain way, but pretty cool, Arn. Your first belt right there.
Very proud of that.
That's awesome.
And I was learning so much being partners with Jerry because he was a seasoned veteran already, and he would teach me so much stuff about tag matches and just working in general.
Look at that, man. By the way, I am pleased to announce that we have been able to secure the copyright to the Horsemen track, and that we are going to work on an opener for the show with highlights and pictures of you through the years with the Horsemen music. So I've got it licensed and copyrighted to use for our show on our YouTube channel. So coming in the coming weeks, not right away, I have a guy that's helping me build out that minute and a half intro video. We are going to use the Horsemen music, and that's why I grabbed that picture. That's one of the pictures I grabbed for a new intro for the show.
Well, you're on top of this stuff, ain't you, my man?
Trying to elevate in 2025, and I'm really excited about that. Let's keep going.
Good job. Good job.
Yes, sir. Eric Healy, can't wait to see you and Brock and hopefully Tully at some of these conventions in the near future. Man, you're going to have your chance, buddy, and that's what I've been combing for. Tully's also going to be in Indianapolis, by the way. I believe Barry is too, so that's another good show if you can't make it to Charlotte. Eric says, I grew up watching Jim Crockett Promotions around 1985 and on until Jim Crockett sold out to Turner. Hottest time in professional wrestling, in my opinion. Yep. Arn, I agree, man.
Yeah, I've called it the golden years many times.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. Wrestling was hot. Every company that was out there was making money. It's that's the funny thing about wrestling. When wrestling blows up and just is on fire, it's just wrestling. It's not NWA wrestlers or WWF wrestlers or Tennessee wrestlers or Dallas wrestlers. It's just wrestling in general. When it's hot, every place is hot. Did you hit a button?
I did hit a button. I apologize. Cough again. But somebody just said, that's so cool, Paul, CG, about the Horseman music. Congrats, bud. We're excited about that. Folks are popping about Jerry Stubbs and that picture that we showed with those tag belts in the chat. Jerry Stubbs was a great wrestler. From Eddie. Instagram Wrestling Historian said sick picture. That's awesome. And so there you go. I want to go and get, we're wrapping up the show here, but I want to get a couple more quick questions in, Arm. First, we'll throw the super chat up. He says, Michael Jensen again, thank you again for the super chat, my man. Last one for tonight. I'm a big NASCAR fan. Did Arn ever have interaction with the NASCAR guys when they were sponsored by WCW in the 90s?
If you saw the video that they had, what they call them, the Young Guns at the time.
Okay, Tracy Smothers, that him?
No.
The
NASCAR
drivers.
NASCAR drivers. They had that whole group. It was like 5 or 6 of them that were hot at the time.
Oh, okay.
There was a video that we put on our show using those guys and actually did some wrestling moves and stuff. That would be something you could put your research guy on.
Yeah, because I'm drawing a blank on that one.
I produced that. So,
Oh, get out of here.
yeah, sure did. They flew me up there. I spent a couple days at the track, and it's basically just a video to include those guys in
Do you
on.
remember any of the drivers or names or not right not anymore?
Well, what would it have been? That this would have been around what, 91?
Yeah. If I'll wait to see if someone throws it in the chat. I won't look it up now, but I'll keep going with some questions. But that's pretty cool. That's a little piece of trivia that I'm sure not everybody was aware of. Arn doing
Well,
a little production work.
I don't follow NASCAR, so I
Yeah,
apologize for not remembering their
that's
name.
okay.
But it was like a group of 5 or 6 of them. All good guys, very down to earth.
There you go. Kevin Fitzgerald. Hi, Arn. Hello from Ireland. Man, isn't it amazing the reach that this has? Hello from Ireland.
Fit Finley, home of Fit Finley.
There you go. He says, can I ask, if you didn't become a wrestler, what would have you done in life?
Probably been a felon.
Not a meat cutter?
Tried the meat cutting thing. It was great for a minute, but it was not my destiny.
What was Alice's boyfriend's name in Brady Bunch? Isn't that what he was, a butcher?
Hell, I don't know. I didn't watch the Brady Bunch, you nerd. Oh. You're a nerd.
I'm a nerd. It was Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and others. Steve Parks was one of the drivers. You never watched any Brady Bunch?
No, it's too squeaky clean.
Sam the Butcher.
No.
Griller's 9.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, he had just like a bit part from time to time.
He was Alice's boyfriend.
Okay, now I remember him. Doesn't mean I watched. How would I?
Yeah, right.
If I didn't watch, right? So
I saw how you popped when we yelled Sam.
Sam, okay.
Yeah, I know you enjoyed the Bradys. Matthew Rodriguez.
I liked All in the Family a little bit better.
Yeah,
little harder edge.
I could see you digging that show. I could totally see that. Matthew Rodriguez. Hey, Arn, what do you think of Timeless Tony Storm and the long-term storyline of Tony and Mariah May in AEW from 2023 to today? They have had a very nice rivalry going on, Arn. Have you been following this at all or not? No, it's been very well. It's been done. I'll get it out very well. The rivalry between these two.
Good. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for their product, and that's probably obviously something the fans are enjoying. So
yes, they are.
Long-term storytelling is
mostly people are enjoying or have been enjoying that.
Then everybody wins.
There you go. And did you ever get to interact with Tony Storm at all at your time in AEW, or when she worked in? Did you ever work cross paths in WWE back in the day? Or
no?
Okay.
Just if we're walking down the hall and pass. Okay. Hello, how are you? I pretty much stayed in the old timers room with Jake and JR and
gotcha.
Dean and Tony.
They had the old timers room.
Old timers room. We just sat in there and knocked everybody and
played cards.
Buried everything.
Made fun of everything, buried everything.
Yeah, just put the boots to everything, knocked everybody.
Right. I love it. I love it.
Bunch of grumpy old bastards.
Like the two old guys in the Muppets booth that sat up above and made fun of the Muppet Show.
For sure.
If Arn could have a match, this is from Pez, with a wrestler before his career started and a match with someone after his career, who would they be? So someone before your wrestling time period and someone post your wrestling time period. This is a good one.
Boy, how all would it have been to be in the ring with Dick Slater?
Okay.
Since he was my hero, I would think to be in the ring with him would be unbelievable. Part 2 of the question.
Who, prior to your career wrestling and then post wrestling, who's wrestled since that you would like, man, it'd be fun to be in the ring with? God,
about AJ Styles.
He makes everybody look good.
He could even make me look like I knew what I was doing. And that's saying something. And he's a Georgia boy, right down the road. We're neighbors. Rome, and where's he? He's from
Ah,
Oh, come on.
Athens?
We used to
No.
do TV there all the time.
I can look it up real quick.
Ah,
AJ Styles. They won't. Nobody will get mad at us for taking
well,
a little couple
mine
extra
is
minutes here.
mine's kicking in. That what is it? Where you can't remember nothing.
He was born in Jacksonville, Gainesville. Hello.
Gainesville, Georgia. Yeah,
There it
we
is.
did TV there all the time. Why can't I remember that? See that?
That's
Sorry,
okay,
folks. That's
buddy.
that's
It's okay. I
a
don't even
part of
remember
my
having
memory
dinner
that
last night.
yeah, it's
Don't be so hard on yourself.
embarrassing.
You guys were the Ryan Nodal pointed out the two old Muppet dudes, Waldorf and Statler. That's what you guys were, the AEW room.
Sounds right.
Daisy Mama, last question of the week. What were your favorite things to do whenever you wrestled in West Virginia, Arn?
Joey's. See, I jumped right on that.
You knew
Charleston,
it
West
was.
Virginia. Joey's was right by the building. You could just walk next door. Half of it was a bar. Half of it was a Western clothing store / cowboy boots. Sold all kind of stuff, probably guns, you name it. But he got from don't know where, but he caught a deal, and all the guys at the time were wearing ostrich cowboy boots. So he hooked us up with a good price.
Nice.
If you've ever had a pair of ostrich boots on, it's hard to ever put on leather cowboy boots again. They're so lightweight, form fitting. I had a pair of white ones, that was incredible. So we would go eat there. We'd go shop in the afternoon if you had a couple hours, see if you had anything. Then after the show, it was literally under one roof. Joey owned the whole thing. Then we'd go straight from the arena, walk across the street, put our stuff in the Marriott, walk back across the street and have some cocktails.
Darth Payne says great food at Joey's. We ordered it from work as well. So
barbecue, yeah.
There you go. Very cool. So if you're in West Virginia, you got to check out Joey's. Arn, I got to ask, do you still own a pair of cowboy boots?
Don't.
Okay. I'm going to Texas, I think, this summer for a vacation. I was thinking about getting a pair because we're going to maybe go to the stockyards down there.
You want to know the absolute truth? If I got them on, it'd blow my back out trying to get them off.
Okay. See, I'm not trying to do that.
They are difficult to get on and off. That's the one headache. And I'm not kidding you. I'd blow my back completely out trying to get those damn things off.
That sounds terrible.
That'd be ugly.
Get over here, honey. Can you help me with my boots?
Hey, 3 or 4 of you guys, I'm going to lay on my back here, each grab a heel and a toe and pull these damn things off me, will you?
That's what they did in the old guy AEW room.
Yes.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. Hey, this has been an absolute blast. Darth Payne says barbecue cheese fries. Now, Arn cheese is probably where he lost you.
Brisket, sliced pork, hush puppies, coleslaw.
He's got the whole order.
Tater tots. Maybe a half barbecue chicken. Right.
Everybody head on down to Joey's at West Virginia on your way to Charlotte to T-Mart Promotions. And at the end of July, we're going to have a good old time. Arn, thank you for doing this with me so much. Big Fezzik said, you're making me hungry. He's making me hungry too. I want to thank all of you who joined us for this live Ask Arn Almost Anything. They never disappoint, Arn, do they?
They're
fans,
great.
our audience. This is my favorite show that we do every month.
And they make me think.
And that's okay.
That's scary.
It's only once a month they make you think. So we got to shake up the cobweb. So we have a lot of fun. Guys, we appreciate all of you guys, gals. Michael Jensen said, awesome. As always, thank you both. Hey, thank you all for joining us in the virtual living room of the great Arn Anderson, the Enforcer. We'll be back on in 2 weeks. I love how we do this live on air now. Tuesday, March 11th, work for you at 6 Eastern. He's breaking out the old family calendar, taking a look. Yeah,
March 11 it is. You get first pick, buddy.
All right, I get first round draft pick. So we're going to get together Tuesday, March 11th, and it's going to be October 1995 as we're into the second month of Nitro and talking all things. We'll still answer some questions throughout the show as always, but we'll be live on Tuesday, March 11th, 6 p.m. Eastern. We can't thank you all enough so much for being here. I know I mentioned it earlier about the video game, but UPW, Ultra Pro Wrestling, that's going to debut in 2025. Arn, Tully, they're all going to be downloadable characters. We are so excited about the launch of the video game. If you joined us for Ask Arn Almost Anything in January, Tully was on. He was announced for the game. So many cool things are happening this year, and I'm glad that you guys were excited about the theme that we're going to start working on for this show with the Horsemen music. Those are the guys, the video game trademarked it and put me in contact with the company. So I'm really excited about that. Ryan, great to see you. No worries on being late. Thank you all so much for being here, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. On behalf of the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, my tag team partner, this is Paul Bromwell. Don't forget, if you have pictures, Arn, I'm making you hold your hand up. Pictures for the project, DM me your photos, 85 to 89 Horseman photos. I can't say it enough. A great opportunity awaits, and you will see them again if they're used. So please do that. On behalf of the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, this is Paul Bromwell. We'll see you in 2 weeks right here on Arn